Hi everyone. So this is part 2 of cluster analysis, and as I said that I request you to please watch my earlier video lecture to understand what is exactly cluster analysis, and here we are employing the first of its methods, that is the hierarchical cluster analysis. So that's my data set, and I have described it already in my earlier lecture. It's a marketing data where column 1 is the identifier ID, unique identifier for each of the customers, and then starting from column 2 I have different independent, I should say different variables. So there is no concept of dependent independent variable. First of all, it's an unsupervised learning method wherein you don't have any dependent or independent variable. These are just indicators. Depending upon these indicators, we're going to come up with our final solution, which is the clusters. Okay, so without waiting a lot, let's start. So we're going to go to analyze, and then so I've already employed actually, so I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna just recall my commands. So you go to analyze, and then in that you have classify. In classify you go to hierarchical cluster analysis, then you will have this popped up. And then in the label cases by, you have to put your ID variable. Okay, so I've already put it here. Also, please ensure that your ID variable has been made a string. So if you are wondering how to make my ID variable as a string, I'm going to teach you here. So you see this ID variable, this is the type. You can choose the type from here. So earlier my ID variable was nominal. So I made it a string and then just click OK. So it was nominal here, it has to be nominal here, and it has to be string here. Only then cluster analysis works. So that's very important for you to ensure. So again, going up there. So in hierarchical analysis, you put your ID variable in label cases by, and then I guided by my theory, I'm picking these set of independent variables, which is x6, 8, 12, 15, and 18. And all of these are interval variables. Interval variables means these all are, numbered. So these were asked on a Likert scale. So the person was asked, please rate our product on the basis of product quality, please rate our product on technical support, and so forth. Okay. So all these have a rating from 1 to 5, and then people answer. I'm not sure if it's 1 to 5, 1 to 10. You can check that in the variable sheet. But all of these are Likert scale type questions where people have rated the company, which is HBAT in our case, on these attributes. Okay, so all these are interval variables. So you have to be very thorough with the data type which we have been picking. Okay, so then you go to statistics, you click agglomeration schedule proximity matrix, and then you're going to write range of solutions. So range of solutions means that you have some idea with you that you might want to end up with minimum 2 and maximum 4 clusters. Okay, so if you don't want to employ such a range, you might as well go with none. So that's your wish, but it's always good to be guided by some theory and pick a range. So then cluster analysis will give you the solutions in this range only. Okay, then continue, plots, dendrogram, continue, method, cluster method. See, as I said that cluster analysis will be performed on the basis of some method. Okay, now there are several methods, to be honest. You can see between groups, within linkage, nearest neighbor, all of these. Now we're going to specifically stick to the words method. Now the reason being that in words method, so it's very good for this particular reason, that it has a tendency to generate clusters that are homogeneous and relatively equal in size. So Watts method is everyone's favorite, so we're gonna employ that. Okay, then this measure means that for your type of independent variable, which measure will you use? So I'm going to tell you what to use when. So when your independent variable is, for example, interval, then it's preferred to use squared Euclidean distance. Okay, so please note this. So this is the most common method used when you have interval type of independent variables. And if you have count data in your independent variable, that is some categorical variables, then we use chi-squared. So chi-squared measure or phi-squared measure, both are equally good. So phi squared is nothing but standardized chi-square. And if your data comprises of some binary data, okay, which has two categories, then again squared Euclidean distance measure is employed. Okay, right now your data has interval. Okay, so you're going to click on interval data, and I'm employing squared Euclidean distance. Okay, and then transform values. So see, transform values means that do you want uh, to normalize your data set on a common scale? Common scale means you're going to standardize it on the basis of, say, Z scores. You remember Z scores are nothing but the standardized scores via normal distribution. Okay, so right now in my data, my all the variables are on a common footing already. They're all interval type data, and more so, not just interval type. These data do not have a unit or denomination in that. For example, if you have data, for example, income, then income is in rupees, and then you have a variable that is education. Education is a number of years. Then you might want to employ Z scores, okay, or range of -1 to 1, okay. So any of these, so that will put all your independent all your variables, sorry, on a common footing. So right now, because my data is, you know, perfectly good, it's not having several denominations, so I'm just gonna go with you know, none. Okay, so yeah, and then continue. We're gonna go to save. Save again. I want to save a range of solutions, that is minimum clusters 2, maximum 4. Continue. Then display statistics, plots, and cluster. Now you have to do cases. It's very important because you are trying to cluster people and not variables. Mind it, if you're clustering variables, that means you're employing a factor analysis, which is not our concern right now. So that means hierarchical cluster analysis can also be used to cluster variables, which becomes a factor analysis. However, we are interested in doing it for the different cases. So hierarchical cluster analysis for the cases. Then click OK. The moment you click OK, you would have this output. Okay. So looking at this, the first is case processing summary. So in my data, I have total 100 people, and you know, there's no missing data. So I have fully 100 people employed in my analysis. Next, what you see, this big table is the proximity matrix. Okay, so as you can see, it's written on the bottom. This is a dissimilarity matrix. Now recall, I taught you in the earlier video, mind it, that dissimilarity means the distance. So this is a distance measure wherein each of the cases are, you know, put into a cluster depending upon how less is the distance between them. So for example, these are all your cases on the column. So this is like a matrix, just like correlation matrix. You have 1 people, 2 people, 3 people, 4, and so forth. This means this is my first individual, this is my second individual, this is my third individual, and so on till 100. Okay, so I'm gonna have 100 different individuals here, as you can see. Correct. Likewise, on the column side, or I should say these are the rows actually. So here also I have starting from 1, 2, 3 until 100. So that means I am going to employ a distance measure for each of my customers or each of my cases. So I'm going to take you back to where I dropped. So here, so distance measure, the smaller it is, more likely are 2 cases to be in one cluster. Remember. So here, this means that between the first person and the first person himself, obviously the distance is 0. Obviously you're true to yourself, and that means you're as much close as possible to yourself, right? So that's a 0. However, second person and first person have a distance measure of 16.79. That means that they are this much different. Okay, now if you are to compare, that second person will, you know, get attached to which person in the cluster, then you can actually compare all these numbers in the second row, the row for the second individual. Okay, so either second row or pick a second column. Either ways, this is the same data. It's like, you know, by n into n matrix. So let's say looking at this particular row, so I'll click on this. Yeah, so So looking at this particular row, and then you see that 16.79, 0, 9.060, 12. You see that 4 is a relatively smaller number as compared to at least all these. That means the second person and the fifth person are very similar to each other. So there is a high tendency that these two people become a part of one cluster. Likewise, you can do it for literally entire matrix. Now you might be wondering that, oops, this gets too cumbersome. What if you have a big data? For a big data, you'll have such a big table. That's too cumbersome. Which is why, you know, hierarchical cluster analysis is less useful if you have a big data. So mind it, for big data sets, you better don't go for hierarchical cluster analysis. Then two-step is the best one. Okay, so that was about the proximity matrix, which is giving you a distance measure. By distance measure, I mean the dissimilarity. By dissimilarity, I mean the larger is this number, the less likelier will be those two people to become a part of one cluster. Okay, so that was about your proximity matrix. Next, you have the Ward linkage. Recall that we use the Ward's method in linkaging. So this is the particular technique with which hierarchical cluster analysis will come up with the number of clusters. Okay. Now, how to interpret it? So this particular schedule, which you see right in front of you, follows the proximity matrix only. So the results in this particular schedule are actually following from this proximity matrix. And what will happen? So it displays how the hierarchical cluster analysis progressively clusters the cases or observations. Okay. So each row, as you can see, each row in this particular table shows the stage at which two cases are combined to form a cluster using the clustering algorithm and this distance measure. So distance measure has been employed here, okay? And the clustering method has been employed here, that is the Ward's method, okay? So to interpret this table, I would say this stage column means, so I'm going to take it here. It's better to, you just double click on the output and it appears in a very good fashion. So the stage column means that this is the stage, at which two cases. So for example, these two cases get combined in one cluster. Okay. And then to be really specific, the number of stages which you're going to come across in this table would be one less than the total number of cases you have taken in cluster analysis. That means you took 100 people, correct? So you have taken 100 people to make clusters. So out of 100 people, when you're going to have stages like you compare two people in one stage, then other two people in another stage, obviously, when you're comparing one person with another person, the number of such stages would be one less, right? So to take a simple example, if I have three people and I want to compare each one with another, so two people at a time, so how many comparisons, how many stages will I have? Obviously, n minus 1, that is 2 stages. I can compare the first and third person and then second and third person. Okay. So that's how you can look at it. So that's about the stages. And then to interpret this, now just understand in this fashion. This is the stage. And don't confuse yourself with cluster 1 and cluster 2 written here. These are nothing but cases. So this is your case 1 and this is your case 2. So basically those two cases which will get combined at a particular stage in a cluster, as simple as possible. Then coefficient means, so coefficient here means that the distance of these two people. So how far are these people when they are being combined? Okay. So obviously, gradually we're going to see that, initially, for example, when third and 94th person got combined into one cluster, the distance measure was 0.080. That's a very small measure. That's a very small number, right? Which is why these two people got combined into one cluster. Okay, so that's the distance measure. And then talking about stage cluster first appears. So again, as I said, that don't confuse yourself with cluster word. Just understand that these are cases. So this is the stage in which these two people would have first appeared to become a part of cluster. अभी तो हम stage 1 पे ही है, correct? So stage 1 में where 3 and 94 got combined, obviously इससे पहले, इससे पहले they didn't get combined in any of the stages. Okay? And then this means the next stage in which either of these two people, are gonna appear. That is 18. So for example, you see stage 18 and you have 3 here. That means this third individual again becomes a part of some cluster on stage 18. So that was the row-wise interpretation. Okay, so I'm going to start now specifically. So your stage column represents the step in the clustering process where two most similar clusters are combined. Okay, and then your clusters combined comprises of information detailing which two cases are combined at each of the stages. Then agglomeration coefficient, we also call it the agglomeration coefficient. This measures the increase in heterogeneity. Okay, heterogeneity means how different they are. So the increase in heterogeneity, that is the reduction within similar similarity. Okay, so basically this distance means ये दोनों एक दूसरे से कितना दूर है, ठीक है ना? तो ये जितना छोटा नंबर होगा, the smaller this number is, that would mean ये उतना ही पास है एक दूसरे के, correct? और ये जैसे जैसे नंबर बड़ा होता जा रहा है, you see that progressively as this number gets increasing, that means more and more dissimilar people are getting combined, है ना? ऐसे ही तो work करता है hierarchical cluster analysis. So initially it starts combining people into clusters, and then finally it's going to end with a solution where every person becomes a part of that big cluster. तो ये जो आपका last stage होता है, इसमें सारे लोग एक cluster का part बन जाएंगे. Okay, तो आप देखोगे this is the highest number, and progressively this distance measure is actually increasing. Increase ही होगा ना, because progressively we're going to add more different people in one cluster, है ना? So that's how hierarchical cluster analysis works. Now, for ease, it is the distance. So इसका अगर actual मतलब आप पूछें तो it is the distance between the two closest observations in the clusters being combined. Okay. Now, the stage cluster first appears. As I said, that this identifies the prior stage at which each cluster being combined was involved. And if there is a value of 0, that means the observation is still a single member cluster. So it's getting combined for the first time. Okay, so 0 means इससे पहले ये observation कहीं नहीं आया था, and it has entered to become a part of this cluster for the first time. Okay, so next stage in which the cluster appears, I have already told you, this denotes the next stage at which your new cluster will be combined with either of these existing information. Okay, so let's interpret a few stages. Stage 1. So stage 1 means that the third and 94th case are the first one to join in a cluster with a distance measure or an agglomeration coefficient of 0.080. In this case, both the clusters are in reality individual observations, obviously, ठीक है? And we know that because there is a 0 here. So 0 means that neither of these two people have become a part of any cluster before. ये सबसे पहले अभी जुड़ गए हैं, ठीक है ना? So that means they're coming here for the first time to become a part of the cluster. और ये एक दूसरे के बहुत करीब है. इनका distance measure आप देखोगे कितना छोटा है, ठीक है? And then 18 means that this particular cluster will be seen in 18th stage now. तो हम 18 स्टेज पे चलते हैं. So this is my 18 stage. So in 18 stage you see that observation 3 again appears. यहाँ आपका observation 3 है, 18th में again you see observation 3. ठीक है. So observation 3 appears again in the 18th stage and now it gets combined with observation 38. You see that? मैंने ये तो बोला आपको progressively or I should say successively all the people are joining the clusters. Okay. Now further, one in this column. So here you see that one. इसका मतलब है this is corresponding to 3 here. ठीक है. यहाँ पे जो नंबर होगा आपका that corresponds to this number. For example 38. This corresponds, ये जो 1 है आपका, this corresponds to 3 here. So 1 means that my observation 3 has first appeared in stage number 1. Obviously ये रहा आपका stage number 1 and observation 3 appeared here. Correct? So that was about a little of interpretation. Now let's go further. Now you come on to this 67. 67 means now in the next stage in which you might see either of these two people is 67th stage. So let's go. देखो 67th stage पे again you have the third individual. You see that? So the 67th is the next stage column, means that the next time this cluster will be joined with something else is stage 67, and I see 3 here. Okay. So likewise you can go on interpreting the table, but later on what we see that in the end, so lastly what happens is that the first and sixth case get combined, okay, into one big cluster. Now all the 100 observations by the last stage, that is stage number 99, have joined the big cluster that is nothing but entire sample. ठीक है ना. हम शुरुआत करते हैं, हम बोलते हैं कि हर इंसान अपने आप में एक क्लस्टर है. धीरे धीरे हम सबको जोड़ना शुरू करते हैं. ठीक है ना. So we'll start with n clusters, then we'll have, for example, अगर आपके पास 20 people है, so you're going to start with 20 clusters, फिर आप कहीं पे 19 पे आओगे, फिर 18, फिर 17, फिर 16, then some 5 clusters, 4 clusters, 3 clusters, and finally you'll have a stage when everybody will get joined in one big cluster, that is entire sample itself. That's hierarchical procedure. So this is the stage in which first and sixth persons get joined, and you know, all your 100 observations have become a part of this big cluster by this stage, and this stage has the highest agglomeration coefficient also, because that is something you would have guessed it, right? हम धीरे धीरे जब इतने सारे लोगों को एक बड़े क्लस्टर में डालते जा रहे हैं, that means we are indeed joining more and more dissimilar items successively, which is why this coefficient is very high. Okay, so that means that अब हमें एक stopping rule चाहिए. So I need a rule to understand कि मैं कौन से stage पे रुक जाऊं. तो सबसे पहले आप ये समझो, this stage has another name. इस stage का नाम बेटा है, so this stage has a name called number of clusters. Okay, so this stage can also be termed as the number of cluster solutions, and to rename this you can say that this 99 stage means there is a one cluster solution, मतलब सारे लोग in one cluster. 98th stage means 2 cluster solutions, that means all your sample gets divided into 2 clusters. 97th का मतलब है 3 cluster solution, likewise 4 cluster solution, 5 cluster solution, and so forth. ठीक है. So that's how you can interpret the stage column. Now the question arises, हम कहाँ पे रुके? So do I stop at a 1 cluster solution, a 2 cluster solution, 3 cluster solution, or a 4 cluster solution? For that we need a stopping rule. Now that stopping rule depends upon this column, that is the coefficient column. So we are going to stop at the point where there is a large difference between the coefficients of 2 consecutive stages. Okay, this is so because the clusters combined at a given stage are more heterogeneous. For example, इस stage पर 97 stage पर जो लोग combine हुए हैं वो ज्यादा अलग हैं than the previous stage. Correct? तो जब हमें लगेगा कि बहुत ही ज्यादा अलग हो गया है, तब हम रुक जाते हैं. ठीक है. So in a way, I'm gonna do this using, I'm gonna take this data to Excel and perform the stopping rule. So for that, I'm gonna do that in the next video lecture. Okay. So for now, just try to understand that how hierarchical cluster analysis is proceeding. It proceeds from n to 1. ठीक है ना? So it starts from each individual as a different cluster और धीरे धीरे सबको ऐड करते करते सबको एक ही क्लस्टर में डाल देगा. ठीक है ना? Now we need to have a stopping rule. हम कहाँ पे रुके और हम बोले कि अच्छा ठीक है हम 3 cluster solution के साथ चल रहे हैं या 4 cluster solution के साथ चल रहे हैं. For that, I'm going to take up in the next video lecture. Thank you for watching the video.